This is how many lessons I've saved. I don't think I've highlighted this much in any other book this year. The 5 Types of Wealth by Sahil Bloom is already going on my best books of 2025 list. No hesitation, no second guessing, it's that impactful. And I truly think every single person has to read this book, whether you're 25 or 65. It's so powerful, it's clear, and it's brutally honest in the best way. Some chapters honestly made me cry. Some made me reevaluate how I spend my time, how I treat my body, and how I define success. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the biggest lessons I learned from this book and how those lessons have already changed me. Hey friends, I'm Veronika and welcome to my channel. Here we talk about intentional living, self-growth, and building a life that actually feels good. And if you like my reflective videos like this one, I think you'll also love my free weekly newsletter, Veronika's Weekly Vibes. The moment I finished reading the 5 Types of Wealth, I wrote an email sharing all of my biggest takeaways. So if you want to get first access to insights, updates, and honest life lessons, you can sign up for free using the link in the description. I'd love for you to join my growing community of over 40,000 people there. Before we dive into the lessons from the 5 Types of Wealth, I want to quickly share something that I've added to my daily routine that supports how I take care of myself. I started using Ritual's Essential for Women multivitamin, and I specifically chose this brand because their products are made traceable, which means they show you exactly where their ingredients come from and why they're included. Plus, their formula is third-party tested, USP verified, non-GMO, gluten-free, and made without major allergens. All the things I care about when it comes to putting something in my body. One thing that really mattered to me is that Ritual's multivitamin is vegan. I've been vegan for many years now, and this is a non-negotiable for me. I also got their Essential for Men multivitamin for my husband, so now we're both fully covered. I do have to add, because you guys know me, I highly recommend getting your blood work done before starting any supplements, just to know what your body actually needs. That's what I did, and I do it every 6 months. If you've been looking for a high quality multivitamin, make sure to check out Ritual. You can get 30% off your first order using my link below and my code VeronicaMark30. Big thanks to Ritual for sponsoring a portion of this video. Okay, let's begin with the first lesson that I have personally learned from this book. Wealth isn't just about money. Your wealthy life may be enabled by money, but in the end, it will be defined by everything else. And I think the reason why we often forget about the second part of this phrase, that we still need other forms of wealth to actually define our wealthy life. And we focus so much on enabling our life with finances, with money, with building all of this financial wealth, is because we don't really have this definition of enough. And I really like how Sahil opens this chapter by this big question: what is your definition of enough? Many of us don't know, and to be honest, I also hesitate answering this question just because of how much social media impacts me. Because social media constantly reminds us that we could have more, we should have more. And I think that is one of the reasons why I feel so bad when I consume social media a lot, because I constantly feel like I'm not enough, that I'm not doing enough, that I have to be doing more because, Veronika, look at all of those successful people, how much they have done. What about you? And this honestly really reminds me of the time when I was growing my Instagram account, my very first Instagram page, where I currently have over 1 million followers. And I actually stopped posting there. Like, I started a fresh new account where I have like 6,000 followers right now, I think. And the reason why I decided to leave all of that behind was exactly because of that feeling of something is not right. I have to be constantly doing more. Like, I was posting every single day, sometimes even multiple times a day, because I thought that was something that I was supposed to be doing. Like, I forgot to actually take a break and ask myself, Veronika, what is it that you want to be doing? Like, what makes you feel good? What is your definition of enough when it comes to social media? And the thing is, on that account, I I always felt like I built all of that following without building a connection with my audience. Like I wasn't really sharing my life, what my interests were, who I was outside of the content I was posting. Like I boxed myself in so much. I was so scared to say something outside of my niche because I thought the algorithm was not gonna like it. And honestly, this really reminds me of this concept of a Pyrrhic victory, where you win, but the cost of winning is so high that it almost feels like losing. You technically reach your goal, but in the process, you burned out, you lost your health, you damaged a relationship, or sacrificed something truly important. For some people, that's a real win, but for me personally, that is why I'm making this video, and that is why this book really resonated with me, is because for me, that is not a real win. That is a Pyrrhic victory. And to be honest with you guys, when I first heard about this book before reading it, I was a little skeptical because I was afraid that this book is going to be like anti-ambition, like anti-ambitious people. Because I think a lot of us often ask this question, isn't ambition a good thing? And for me, I personally got the answer from this book. Yes, ambition is a good thing, but unexamined ambition. If your ambition is based on somebody else's version of success, somebody else's scoreboard, will leave you exhausted, will leave you disconnected from your own personal values. Okay, moving on to lesson number 2. Time is the most undervalued wealth. You have more time than your ancestors, but less control over how you spend it. You have more time, but somehow you have less time for the things that truly matter to you. Like, this phrase really hit me hard. It takes all the running we can do just to keep in the same place. You're running faster and for longer, but you're not getting anywhere, at least not anywhere worth going. I'm definitely a person who uses this phrase, I'm too busy, I'm busy, like way too much, without actually examining like my business. Like, what is it actually that I'm doing every single day? This phrase about constantly running just to stay in the same place comes from biology, and it's called the Red Queen effect. Basically, in simpler words, what it means is right now we're running harder and harder and harder just to maintain our position. And when I see all of that, like even right now, I feel goosebumps all over my body because I can't. That is not my definition of a happy life because it never feels enough. And one interesting concept that really stood out for me is not thinking of time in this linear, scheduled way, because a lot of us, me included, I always think about time as how many hours have I worked today? That's pretty much it, like how much time has passed. But that is only one type of time, if I can call it that, and that is called your chronos time. And kairos time is meaningful time. It's not about how much time passed, it's about what the moment actually meant to you. Also, I usually go to sleep pretty early, and once per week I go to this yoga class at a local studio that ends at around 9:30 p.m. and usually at 9:30 I'm already in bed, and sometimes I'm already sleeping. If I think about it in terms of just time, like chronos time, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it. But those classes actually provide so much value to me. So this time is not chronos time, it's kairos time. This time cannot be measured in seconds, minutes, or hours. It's measured in impact. Okay, let's move on to lesson number 3. Your body is your long-term home. Treat your body like the house you live in for the next 70 years. Your body is quite literally the house that you're going to live in for the rest of your life. And yet a lot of people treat that house like trash. They drink and eat too much, don't sleep enough, rarely move, and avoid the basic investments and repairs necessary to keep it maintained. When I don't take care of my health, when I don't think about it as one type of the wealth that I actually have, I just don't feel emotionally regulated. Like, my health impacts my mental state, my emotions so much. When I feel good, when I feel strong and capable, I make better decisions. I feel more grounded. And I really like how here Sahil included the part about the basic investments and basic repairs that are necessary to keep your body maintained. For people who are overachievers just like me, sometimes when when I start taking care of my health and exercising, I start feeling like I have to be at the gym for like 2 hours every single day. I have to be doing something crazy. A lot of us also think that if I don't have time to exercise for an hour, I'm not gonna exercise at all. Like, I'm not even gonna exercise for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes, because if I don't have time for like a proper workout, the proper that we mentioned in our head or saw on social media, I'm just not gonna do anything. I know that it does more harm than good, because instead of moving daily at least a little bit, I just say, whatever, I'm not gonna do anything today because I don't have an hour, and if I don't have an hour, I'm not gonna do anything, even 10 minutes. Okay, let's talk about lesson number 4 right now. Relationships are the real ROI, return on investment. The only thing that matters at all is the quality of the relationships with the people we love. This was another extremely emotional chapter for me, like everything connected to the social wealth, to the relationships you're building with people. I honestly cried a lot while reading some of these chapters and, learning more and more about the value of the relationships we have in our lives, because we spend so much energy building something, building a name, chasing success, but how much energy do we actually put into being fully present with our loved ones? Okay, so does it mean again that I cannot be ambitious, that I cannot chase after my goals? And no, I really like how Sahil Bloom here explains that, yeah, we're all busy and that is absolutely okay to have like an ambitious life, to do other things. That doesn't mean that we cannot be present with our loved ones, and also that doesn't mean that we can't explain our why behind our work to our loved ones. Like, if today is a very busy day for you and you're not gonna spend a lot of time with your partner or your kids, explain your why, explain why you're so passionate about your work, about the things you're doing, because social wealth is what provides the meaning to all of these other types of wealth. Okay, and finally, lesson number 5 is be a conscious spender, not a cheap person. Cheap people care about cost. Conscious spenders care about value. This part of the book really helped me reframe how I make decisions when it comes to my finances, when it comes to my money. And a very good example here would be how I bought my yoga mats from the brand Lifeform a few months ago. I have been eyeing these yoga mats for a very long time, and you guys know how much I practice yoga. Right now, I'm very deep into my handstand journey, so I really wanted to invest into some quality pieces. I wanted to choose the yoga mats that I personally liked, that were very grippy, high quality, that I would use for many, many, many years. And so the only thing that was honestly stopping me is obviously the price, because Lifeform yoga mats are not cheap. They're not like 20, 30 bucks. They are around $150 like per mat. And so that is why I was thinking about it for a very, very long time. And then finally, when I sat down and I answered all of those questions for myself, does this support my energy? Will I still be glad I bought this 6 months from now? My answers were yes. I knew those purchases would add value into my life, would help me progress faster, would make my practices safer, because the yoga mats are really high quality, they're non-slip, so I'm not gonna fall and hurt myself. And that whole reflection added clarity into my life and allowed me to actually choose. Like, am I wanting this right now because it's a trend? Because I want other people to see me have this, something that happens so much on social media. We purchase something just because we want other people to see us having this thing. We want to post something and we want other people to react and be like, oh my God, you have this thing. In a way, this is a form of a rival fallacy. Once we arrive somewhere, like once we purchase something, we're finally gonna feel successful. If you allow your expectations to grow faster than your assets, you will never feel wealthy. Personally, the biggest thing that I liked from this book is that every single chapter starts with a question, with a big question. It doesn't start with a rule. It actually prompts you to answer this question for yourself. Like, is that thing important to you, or is it not? I think that when we ask better questions, we actually live a better life. And you know, I really don't want this book to make you feel like your life is not 100% balanced. You know, at the very beginning, when I just started reading it, I was like, maybe, because it describes different types of wealth and gives you questions and quizzes, and I thought, maybe when I see my answers, when I look at my life that is unbalanced, that's going to make me feel like every single type of wealth has to be at 100 for me. And if it's not, it means that my life is not 100% balanced. Like, my life is out of balance. Balance is not about your days. It's not really about making sure that in every single day you do something that takes care of all of the 5 types of wealth. It's about the seasons of your life, and it's about the season of your life you're in right now. The season of your life really determines your balance, like what you're focusing on right now. Because if you're fresh out of college, you're probably going to be focused a lot on your financial wealth or your social wealth, and that is absolutely okay. But that doesn't mean that you have to switch off all of the other types of wealth. It doesn't mean that you have to stop caring about your health and stop caring about your sleeping schedule, your nutrition. Absolutely not. You know, maybe they're not gonna be at 100%. Maybe you're not gonna be the best athlete in the world, but that is absolutely okay. You just have to maintain all of them. So guys, I think it's going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to sign up for my free weekly newsletter, Veronika's Weekly Vibes, and join my growing community of over 40,000 people there. Also check out Ritual and use my code VeronicaMark30 to get 30% off your first order. If you want to go deeper into your physical wealth and see the 10 fitness tips that changed my life and finally made me fall in love with working out, you're going to love this video next. Just click right here and I'll see you there.